Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be: is being with a dominatrix cheating or therapy? Well, this is going to be an interesting email. So, this particular email, this guy is in a relationship. He has a girlfriend. He says they have a good relationship. They've been together since December of 2022. But he's always had this fantasy, I guess, if you will, or a kink. He wants to be tied up. He wants to have a gimp mask on. I haven't looked what a gimp mask. I kind of have I think I know what it is. If you guys have ever seen the show Billions, which is with Damian Lewis and Paul Giamatti, where it's just great fucking show. And like Tony Robbins is friends with the producers of that show, and I loved it. I thought it was a great show. And so one of the main characters, Paul Giamatti, I think how you say it, his character, he's the district attorney, kind of weird out there, and he has a dominatrix that he goes and sees his wife, or the woman who plays his wife, and then later his ex-wife, and then if you watch till the end of it, well, I don't want to spoil the surprise, but they're together for most of the series, and they get divorced at some point, and it's interesting. And so he has a dominatrix that he goes to. He's tied up, and I think he has the ball in his mouth sometimes, maybe, or it's really kind of kinky and weird. It's like I look at stuff like that and I go, that doesn't do shit for me. It's like I know some people like that. I've had girlfriends, they like to be tied up. It's like different strokes for different folks. I don't judge. It's like, whatever, floats your boat. I don't, hey, what's good for you? For me, I might be like, I have no interest in that. And vice versa. Things I like, people I go, well, that's pretty vanilla or not very exciting. But this dude, this has always been his fantasy. But now he's in a relationship. And so he goes on their websites and they say on the websites that it's therapy. It's like, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a counselor. I don't do that stuff. I have no interest in that. I have no interest in becoming a psychologist or a therapist. And plus, I'm dealing with people all over the globe. So I don't know what the laws are in your country. It's like maybe anybody that's a therapist or a couples therapist or a psychologist that follows you, maybe you guys can comment below. Because I just don't know. I don't know. Maybe in some countries this is a licensed form of therapy. I have no idea. I just don't. And it's a pretty, like from my perspective, it's a pretty unusual thing. But then again, it's like nothing really surprises me after doing this for 20 plus years. And this kind of stuff is something I almost never hear about. I know some dudes like to be tied up and stuff like that. But like I said, when I read this email, first thing I'm thinking of is Billions. And so in Billions, Paul Giamatti's character, I can't remember the actress's name. She does an amazing job. But she's a high performance coach, therapist, psychologist. So she basically takes self-help and marries that with her therapy practice or her psychology practice. I think she's a psychologist. And so she's fully aware of her husband's kinks and his hang-ups. I think she might even, in some of the episodes, knows the dominatrix. And sometimes she's like, you need to go see him. And I think sometimes in some of the episodes, she would do some kinky things with him in the bedroom as well. But most of the stuff where he's tied up, it's like he had a specific dominatrix where he would go. He liked to be whipped and stuff like that and be told what to do. I don't know the stuff behind it. Again, anybody that's a therapist or psychologist that, like I said, if there's a country and this is like a licensed form of therapy, I mean, it'd be great for you guys to comment in there and maybe have a discussion with some of the people in the comments, because it's like, I just don't know. But I will get to is because his questions are like, is this cheating or not? Because he doesn't want to tell his girlfriend. And so from my experience, usually the girl is involved somehow. Either she knows about it or maybe she's there watching. Or like I said, I know from the show Billions, they go into it. But his wife is a psychologist or a therapist, high performance coach that is really a psychologist that got into the realm of self-help. But she totally knows about it, and I think she has talked to the dominatrix in the series. Like, I can't remember, but it's like that. That's just not really my thing. But it's interesting that, I mean, this guy, this is his fetish, this is his thing. So different strokes for different folks. It's interesting. And I'm sure there might be some interesting people commenting. Like I said, if you guys are therapists or whatever, maybe I got some dominatrixes that follow me, or people that have gone to see him. Maybe you can share your experiences here. But I'm going to give my 2 cents on it because that's what this guy has asked for. So he says, "Dear Coach Corey Wayne, I've been with my girlfriend since December of 2022. We have a good relationship. We have a wonderful time, and we've been on 2 holidays together so far. We've also spoken about which towns and city that we want to move to eventually. I've been meaning to go see a dominatrix to have a session with her. I'm not going to have sex with her. I won't even be touching her. The session will be me getting a hand job whilst being tied up and wearing a gimp mask. Also, I want to engage in foot fetish and be tied up and tickled. This is a long-term itch I want to scratch, and the important thing is this is a one-off thing. I kind of find it hard to believe that you're going to do this once and never again. But, you know, like I said, and the most I know about is what I saw on TV. And, you know, I know the producers of that show really spent a lot of time doing research and putting thought into it. So it's kind of interesting. Because, like I said, in that show, the guy's wife is also a psychologist, and she's fully aware of it, and she endorses it. And sometimes, if I remember right, she would come right out and say, "You need to go see so and so," and because that's his thing. He likes to be tied up and kind of beat or whipped, I should say. Whatever. He says, "Once it's done, I'll go back to my normal life." So in other words, he wants a hall pass. That's what he really wants. He wants another woman to get him off because this is a thing he's always been into. But my question is, why couldn't you just dress up and do this shit with your girlfriend? If you really are close and you talk about everything and she loves you and wants to meet your needs, why wouldn't you want to experiment with being tied up and have her do things to you like this? Or maybe she's super conservative and it'll freak her out. I don't know. It really depends on what you're into. It's also possible that you share this stuff with your girl that you want her to do to you, and she's like, "I'm out, you're a freak, goodbye." Maybe that's, you know, one of his fears. It's like, I don't know. Like I said, this is the kind of thing that, like I said, I don't know, this is a licensed form of therapy? I have no idea. Because he does mention that as we get a little further down. He says, "Me and my girlfriend, we live at separate addresses, so she doesn't ask me everything I do. I don't tell her what I had for breakfast, what time I took a dump, what time I woke up, etc., etc. I don't share everything I did with my parents or best friend, so she won't question this, so there is a 0.0000001% chance of her finding out." So in other words, in his mind, he's like, there's no way I'm telling her I'm going to do this outside or I want to cheat on my girlfriend. And I don't think she'll ever find out, so it's worth the risk to me. That's his attitude. He says, "What consequences will there be if I go ahead with the session? Please bear in mind, this is a once-off. She isn't going to know." Well, that's assuming she's not going to know. But again, why couldn't you explore this kind of stuff with your girl? If you've ever been to a hustler place or a sex store or a toy store, it's like they have all this kind of shit there. Doesn't do anything for me, but if this is what floats your boat, maybe you should go with your girlfriend. You should have a discussion about it and then go with her into one of these shops and maybe buy some accessories for yourselves. I know they have contraptions and everything that'll tie you up, as like I said, Chuck, who's Paul Giamatti's character in Billions, they had this, if I remember right, the woman had a whole apparatus to tie him up and keep him restrained, and he couldn't do anything, couldn't resist her or whatever, and she could do whatever she wanted. That was his kink, that was his thing. And in the show, it was a form of therapy. So, but his wife, who was a psychologist and a therapist and a high performance coach. She usually was not involved in any way, but then again, there were times where they would do some kinky things with whips and other things and how they dressed up in the bedroom, in their marital bedroom. But she's fully involved. There's full disclosure. Here you're like, hey, I'm going to basically go get off sexually with another woman, and I'm never going to tell my girlfriend. He says also dominatrixes are professionals and is a form of therapy and healing. Again, it's like, maybe in your country it is, or your city, I have no idea. It's like nothing surprises me anymore. So any of you guys and maybe we have dominatrices or we have therapists, it'd be great if you guys could comment on this. He says this is what they say on their website and on their podcast. It's a form of therapy, again, whether it's licensed therapy, I have no idea. So as I'll be in a space where I'll be connecting with myself and grow on a spiritual level, again, this is what the DOMs say on their website, interviews and various articles. Is this considered cheating? Well, somebody else is going to choke the chicken other than you or your girlfriend. And the fact you're going to hide it from her and never tell her, it sure looks like cheating to me. It sure looks like you want to get off sexually with another woman who's not your girlfriend. How would your girlfriend find out if you do this, that you had another woman get you off? I mean, if it was me, if my girlfriend's like, oh, by the way, I went to a dominatrix and had sex with her or him, or he got me off, and oh, by the way, that would be cheating to me. It was like, I don't think so. It's not okay for my girlfriend to go hang out naked or with anybody that's going to do anything sexually or touch her sexually. So if it was my girlfriend doing this, it would like, you're cheating. You're having sexual relations. I mean, think about Bill Clinton. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Monica Lewinsky. Well, when we all found out was they actually did. I guess it involved a cigar and a happy finish, a hand job, and it ended up on her dress. And then the dress became evidence because I guess she didn't wash it or she gave it to her friend. What's her Linda Tripp, was it? I don't even remember. It was like, that was all. That's a whole other story. The Clintons, they're weirdos. You can only imagine. And the fact that he went to the island of the guy who didn't kill himself, that we can't mention his name, but I don't know. People are freaks. That's one thing I do know. But to me, if it was my girlfriend doing this with another dude, I'd be like, that's cheating, definitely. I don't care if it's a sex party or it's like whatever. It's like if you're getting off with another man or another woman, it's like you're having a sexual affair with somebody else. And especially if it's being hidden, well, obviously the only reason you would hide it is because she's not going to be down with it. So why don't you slowly introduce this kind of stuff to your girl? Tell her that you like to be tied up. Maybe you can start in the bed, be tied to the headboard with some handcuffs or some fluffy or fuzzy handcuffs or whatever. And she can do things to you. Maybe she can tie your legs to the other bedposts. And you can be tied up from 4 of your appendages. And then you can tell her what you want done to you or whatever. But again, if you're going to go do this and have another woman it's like a rub and tug. It's like, hey, it's not, it was like, what's his name? Bob Kraft got himself into trouble in Palm Beach, went to a Oriental massage. He wanted to get a little rub and tug. His wife had passed away. You're like, whatever. But if you're in a relationship and you go to an Oriental massage and you get a rub and tug, is that cheating? It's like, I would say, yes, it is. Another woman is touching your dick and getting you off, other than your wife or your girlfriend. It's like, that's cheating. That's the way I look at it. So he says, there's a super slim chance she will find out, and I'm only intending to do it once and once only. Yeah. What do you guys think? Do you think if he's going to go and do this because this is his kink, it's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime thing and never, ever again is he going to do it? I'd say he'll probably continue to do it. And that's why I say these are the kinds of things you should involve your girlfriend. But I don't know, maybe she's prude. She'd be really offended. And she wouldn't do this or get mad or she'd break. I don't know. You've been with her 2 years. I don't know. Maybe it's, like I said, it's the kind of thing where you can introduce her tying you up and doing things to you and see how that fulfills you. But to go see another woman outside your relationship for this, sure looks like cheating to me. I know if my girlfriend did that, I'd be thinking that's cheating. So I would have to assume if your girlfriend found out that you did this, she would probably consider it cheating because you hid it. So in my opinion, the best way is to introduce some of these things into your sex life slowly. Don't overwhelm her all at once with all the things, but it's like slowly see how she does with tying you up and doing things to you. And then you can kind of take it from there. And then you can go to like I said, Hustler's got a store. There's other sex shops that you guys can go to and have some fun and pick out some toys and some vibrators and some other things together. Because there's all kinds of, you got Wi-Fi attachments, so you could be traveling and your girl can have you on FaceTime and you can be playing her like a video game from the other side of the world if you want to. And so there's all kinds of cool things that you guys can do in the bedroom. But so my opinion is if you go and do this and you hide it from her, you're cheating. But again, is this a form of therapy? I have no idea. Like I said, it'd be great if anybody watching this knows and you could comment. Maybe you guys could link some websites or something like that in there. Just be careful with some of the links when you do put links, because those automatically YouTube will then take the whole comment and put into spam. So if you guys haven't signed up already for our members only content, in the video description of this video, if you're watching it on YouTube or the other platforms, there are links to where you can sign up to join on YouTube. And if you try to join on YouTube on a mobile device, last I heard, the join button is still not there yet. So you probably have to sign up and do it online with like a desktop or a laptop computer, but the link is there. So like I said, if you're on a mobile device, if you go to the description, click it, see if it'll open up, see if you'll get the join button. If it does, great, join on the YouTube app. But if it doesn't come up, you're gonna have to join on a desktop or a regular computer. I apologize for that, but that's just the way YouTube is. They said they're still rolling it out and they haven't rolled it out completely. Whatever. But you can also subscribe on Spotify, and if you subscribe to our members only content on the website, if you go to understandingrelationships.com and click the plans tab at the top of your screen on any page of the website and select the annual plan, you'll get a 25% discount for paying the whole year up front. And so you get 6 additional members only video newsletters. You get the 3% Man and the Mastering Yourself weekly study group podcast. Plus you get, anytime we do viewer questions, you get those whole viewer podcasts, and any special interviews or videos that we do that are members only, you'll get access to those. In addition to the website, you also get the email analysis that goes along with these video newsletters. So again, go to my website, click the plans tab, and choose an annual plan, and you get a 25% discount. And if you've got a question or a challenge and you'd like to get my help, go to understandingrelationships.com, click the products tab at the top of your screen on any page of my website, and book a coaching session with yours truly. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.